everyone, I'm Regine.
And I'm Kayla.
Thank you for joining us on Real Talk.
New episodes are available every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m.
On our podcast, we offer our opinions and advice on various situations and questions from our listeners.
You can submit your questions or scenarios through Spotify, or if you're not using Spotify, email us at talktorealtalk@gmail.com.
You can choose to remain anonymous if you would like.
With that said, let's get started with today's episode. Question 1. I'm dealing with a coworker who is constantly gossiping and spreading rumors. I'm not sure how to address the situation without causing more drama.
Okay, yeah, so with this I feel like with almost any job that you get, there's always going to be that one person or that group of people that are going to just sit up and kind of talk about people, whether it's little things, big things, rumors, things that actually happen. I feel like that's almost just a part of working. Not saying that it's okay, but it's to be expected. But if you feel comfortable going to this coworker and talking to them, you can try to use I statements and everything. So, you don't want them to feel attacked or to react badly or anything, even though they are doing something wrong. You don't want to make a problem into an even bigger problem. So you can say something like, oh, I feel uncomfortable when rumors are spread around the office, instead of saying like, oh, you're always talking about people, like, why are you doing this? You can ease into the conversation. And also try to actually confirm if they're gossiping. Maybe you got to hear it for yourself, because if you hear it from a third party, they can be gossiping themselves, because I've seen that happen before, and they're talking about someone else said something, but they're really the ones who want to say it, but they just want to put a different face to it. So, maybe actually confirm too before, if you are going to confront them, confirm that they're actually gossiping and spreading these rumors. Because like I said, I've seen that happen before, where it's the person's own thought, but they don't want you to know that they were the ones thinking it. Like, oh, such and such said this about you, or they were thinking that blah blah blah, but it's really them that's thinking it, but they just don't want to put themselves out there, because I have seen that. But yeah, so if you go and talk to them, give it some time, see if it stops or calms down or anything, and see if their behavior changes. And then if not, I would say to go to HR. And HR can be tricky, because I know some companies and offices, like, the HR really isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they might try to gaslight you or make it seem like you're doing too much, but or they might say, well, I've never heard that. Some people are unprofessional that way. Yeah, so you can always do that, or go to your supervisor or whatever, and just try to have someone that can come in and help mediate the situation. And I'm pretty sure every company has policies and guidelines on gossip and rumors. So maybe you can go through the employee handbook with them, or if you do write your email and everything, you can have it in there like, oh, I stated in section blah 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 this and that. And maybe there can be something like a group meeting or mediation type of thing, so that it doesn't blow out of proportion. And those meetings do tend to help, because maybe the person, they feel like they can get away with it, so they're going to do it. But if they have to sit down in the meeting and they know they might get a write-up or their job might be on the line, then they'll feel more inclined to stop. Or maybe they'll do it outside the office, because even though it's still bad to gossip about your coworkers and everything, it is different if they're just friends with someone else in the office, and in their alone time together they talk about things, versus in the office, in the break room, and everything like that. So Yeah, and then honestly, if you go to HR and HR isn't, up to par or anything, I would say if it's really bad, because I know some situations can get out of control, and there are those offices that are cliquey, and the higher ups and everything aren't professional, so you might feel like you're the odd one out. If it's that sort of situation, I would honestly say to just start looking for another job. And I know jobs out here, it's tricky, but you will find one. Keep your job in the meantime, and try to just push through and stay to yourself, or if you're able to work from home, try to do that. But you can find something probably doing the same thing for more money, and you're not going to have to deal with all that. So that's my suggestion.
So, gossip is one of those things where you kind of have to assess the situation. So, I would definitely pick your battles wisely. Not every battle is worth fighting. Really, you can't control what the next person will think about you. And is it really worth explaining everything to everyone, everything you do, you know? Because they're going to always look at it from their own perspectives and judge it on that. And so, you know, it's one of those things where you have to kind of look to yourself and think, okay, well, is this true or not? Is this gossip something that should be addressed because it's taken out of context? Or is it something that's just completely false and is kind of like a defamation of character? And so, if it's true, there is a way of going about it which isn't necessarily going to cause more drama. You can kind of bring up the situation the same way that the other person decided to do by creating gossip. So, one way is indirectly, where you can explain exactly why you do something, not necessarily showing that you heard what was said, but just letting them know, like, I do this because of this, and maybe make a joke of it. I was just thinking the other day that I like to eat my ice cream with a sandwich, because every time I eat something hot, my teeth start to, I don't know, do whatever. Shoots up a pain, so then I eat my ice cream following up, and then maybe it's like, oh, okay, she's doing this for health reasons, or something along that line. And then also, one thing to take into consideration is not allowing gossip trigger you. It kind of gives the individual power to control your emotions, your state of being, and so not allowing that power and having your own self-control is very prevalent in anywhere in life. Wherever you go, to like the grocery store, the mall, home, school, work, this is something you have to build within yourself, like a self-confidence, really. Creating a thicker skin, not letting everything that a person says about you affect you. It kind of, you have to look at yourself and think, okay, well, the next person might not like this about me, but I value that I am this kind of person. Maybe the next person thinks you're a bit too aggressive, but you see it as a skill or an ability to confront head on what the issue is and then solve it without it affecting your mental state or allowing it to break your peace. It can easily be seen as bad, and that just shows you how different perspectives are. The world isn't just black and white. There's always going to be gray areas. There's no perfect solution to anything, but you can assess exactly what's going on. And so there is also an option for outside resources. I was speaking with my mother before I had answered this question, because you can also get advice from programs or things like that to deal with these kind of situations, so that in the future, even if you weren't to stay with the company, you can take this skill and bring it throughout your life Um, and so it's kind of like a barrier to your own peace, because when you let the next person talk about you and it really affects you, it's just going to be a continuous cycle. It's going to, if it's not them, it's the next person. And so it kind of creates a protective barrier around your spirit, your energy. And it allows you to move throughout life without people breaking you down as a person. And so, lastly, I know most people want to go to take it as far as HR, but I would say that would be my last resort. I'm not saying don't ever go to HR, but I would use them wisely. Personally, I would go to them for more serious things like assault or direct aggression, something that is directly affecting your work ethics and is concerning your safety. Because if you think about it, HR isn't what's best for you as their worker, it's what's best for the company. And so, if you ever feel like it's really that bad and you cannot take it anymore, then I would reach out to HR. I would work with them to find a solution. And so through that way, at least, HR is seeing you as, okay, this person is still a team player. They are willing to find a solution. And if it comes down to it, where the gossip is so bad, because in a sense it is a form of bullying and harassment, and so it should be taken seriously, but at the same time, there is no perfect solution for anything. And I can't say exactly what you should do in that sense other than to seek professional help. When it comes down to anything along the lines of suicide, if it becomes really out of control, I would talk to a professional. Number 2, I'm trying to eat healthier and lose weight, but I'm struggling to stick to my diet and exercise routine. I'm not sure how to stay motivated and avoid temptation.
Okay, so with losing weight and just becoming healthier as a whole, you're going to have to ease your way into it. So, for example, if you're trying to get rid of junk food, or you want the healthier alternatives, don't just throw everything out and then go to the store and buy all these healthy snacks or whatever. Cycle everything out, So finish the chips that you have and then go get yourself some Smart Pop. Or you could do those variety packs too, where they kind of have some healthy snacks in there. Then they do have like your Cheetos or whatever, so that you're not just cold turkeys. I know some people can function like that, but most of us, we gotta get ourselves used to it, So, like I said, cycle everything out and get yourself used to those other things. So a lot of people, they want to go sugar free and everything. So I would say, like, for me, I had syrup, the Miss Buttersworths or whatever, and I wanted to get the sugar free syrup. I finished my other syrup first, and then I went and got the sugar free one. You have to get yourself used to it. And I feel like in the back of your mind, you're going to be thinking about, man, I just threw that out and now I'm with this one, but I should have finished that other one. So, ease yourself into it and set small goals at first too. Don't say that you're going to go to the gym and lift heavy 5 days this week. Start yourself off slowly and easily, like going on a walk 3 days a week or something small like that, and then build yourself up. Maybe when you're going on your walk, you start off with just a 10-minute walk, then you can go to 20 minutes, half an hour, then an hour, and it'll be easier to build yourself up to that hour versus you're used to sitting in the bed all day and all of a sudden now you're just out walking 2 miles, 3 miles a day, and you're not used to that. You have to really build yourself up. And with motivation, you have to know that you aren't going to be motivated all the time, especially if this isn't something that you're used to, because you're going to be wanting to go back to your old ways. If you just go to work and come home and watch TV, or, be on your phone until it's time to shower and go to sleep, that's what you're going to want to do every day. So you have to rely on being disciplined. So if you tell yourself you're going to start doing those 3 walks a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you need to know at this time on this day I need to get up. Even if you aren't motivated to do it, you have to be disciplined and you're going to go and get up and do it. Unless you're feeling sick or you're just really down in the dumps that day. Even though if you're feeling sad, going on a walk really can help you. But if you're feeling sick and maybe your body hurts, then it's okay to rest. But don't come up with an excuse each time it's time to go out. Just really, if you need to be resting and building your strength up, then okay. But yeah, know that you have to be disciplined. And like we said a couple episodes ago, put things in your schedule. So, like I was saying, at this time, on this day, I need to get up and do this. And then something that also helps is if you have a support buddy. So, and the support buddy has to really be there for support, not someone who's just going to be mean and make you feel bad about your choices. Let's say, like I was saying, you feel sick that day or your knee is hurting or whatever, and you're like, man, I'm not going to walk today because my knee really hurts. You need someone to be like, oh yeah, give yourself that rest. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to make your knee worse or anything. Not someone who's going to be like, oh, you're so lazy, you need to get up, you're always finding excuses. Like, you want someone who's going to be there to support you. And then also someone who is going to tell you when you should get up and do something. So if, let's say you're not sick, you're not in any pain, you're just being lazy, and you just feel like watching your show or whatever. And if they tell you, no, come on, let's get up, it's time to walk, then that's good. But not someone, if you're not feeling right or they make you feel bad. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I feel like you should find the right person who is going to truly support you and be understanding. And maybe if they're on their journey towards a healthier lifestyle, it will be nice for them too, because you guys can kind of rely on each other. Me and Kayla basically do this. We go on walks with each other and everything. And sometimes if one of us is not feeling like walking, there's nothing going on, we're like, girl, come on, let's go and walk. Like, let's just do this amount of time. And then most of the time, if you say, oh, well, let me just go walk for 10 minutes, you end up walking longer than that anyways. So, it's nice to have that person there to motivate you when you aren't motivated, or to keep you guys on your schedule. Because I feel like if you're doing it alone and, if someone's not depending on you, or you're not depending on someone else, it's easy to just be like, I don't feel like it. But if like your friend's going to be waiting for you at the park or wherever you guys are walking, or at the gym and stuff, if you know that a person's like depending on you to be there, then I feel like you're more inclined to get up and do it, like, oh, I don't want to blow them off, or I don't want to keep them waiting. So that's always very good to have someone around like that.
So for me, I'm going through this same thing right now. But what I've been doing is I kind of created a support group for myself. Right now it's just me and Regine. We kind of help each other stay motivated, confide in each other, the struggles of staying motivated. And then also the next thing is starting small and creating routines. You don't want to make a drastic change, because usually those aren't sustainable and they can be overwhelming. Creating a routine just kind of gets your body and mind focused and on the same page. So then you could slowly progress and get into the rhythm of things. And just know that there is no time limit on you getting the results you want. Whether it takes a year or a few years, it's completely fine. And not to rush things. I know everyone seems to be in a rush. That's why some people go get surgeries and stuff. But if you want to do it in this way, it's best not to get in the mindset of, oh, I gotta rush to get to this deadline of trying to lose weight by then. It makes it a bit more frustrating. And then not using extreme diets. There was one point where I was using extreme diets and they weren't necessarily helping. Although I would lose weight in that period of time, obviously if you are using something extreme that your body hasn't used before, sometimes it can come to a halt of losing weight, and that can kind of take your motivation away. And it's not healthy. So that's another thing. And it's not sustainable at that. So you want to get in the rhythm of things. You want it to be sustainable so that you can continue to be at the weight you lost, rather than losing it and then gaining it again because you didn't reinforce your body to healthier ways. Your mental state is most relevant during this time. And I know that it might seem like, oh, well, I'm mentally motivated. But no, you will go through obstacles. And it's a day-by-day process. Things will happen. Sometimes it'll be harder on one day than the next. And not to think of it as the bigger picture. Maybe just taking it step by step. Like, okay, well, today it was a bit stressful. So I just decided to rest a bit today. And then the next day you might feel like, oh, I have more energy, so I'm gonna go, take a run and, do whatnot. And keep yourself motivated in that sense of, I am still keeping my mental health in mind and not allowing this sense of trying to lose weight to overwhelm everything else. Because healthy mind, healthy body. You got to keep yourself at peace. And so also creating a peaceful environment for resting or just overall everything, because it will affect your motivation. If you don't have anywhere to be at peace and it just seems chaotic or stressful or overwhelming, your motivation 9 times out of 10 just goes out the window. So I would definitely try to create that. And sometimes you could, just clean up your place, put on some calming sounds, music, whatever kind of keeps you at peace, maybe drawing or just maybe sleeping. I know will keep me at peace. So I'm definitely doing all of those. I feel like can keep you motivated and kind of congratulating yourself as you go. As you progress and lose weight, giving yourself that serotonin boost. Okay, like, oh, I've made it. Maybe go and get you something that can boost your confidence, or just give you that little serotonin boost. Yeah, maybe a little dessert, or I would say maybe a little dessert, some perfume, some makeup, or maybe some new clothes, hats, something that you've been wanting, something, a little bit of a trophy, kind of like a trophy in a sense. And yeah, pretty much that. And then drinking plenty of water.
Thank you again for listening to Real Talk.
We hope you found our advice and opinions helpful.
Please keep in mind that we are not professionals and our advice is based solely on our personal experiences and perspectives.
So take our advice with a grain of salt and always consult with a professional when necessary.
New episodes are available every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m.
If you have any questions or scenarios you'd like to discuss with us, you can submit it through Spotify or email us at talktorealtalk@gmail.com.
You can specify if you would like us to post your situation to our Instagram at talktorealtalk to get opinions from other listeners in the comment.
And follow us there to stay up to date on our latest episodes and share with your friends so they can join the conversation too.
You can leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube with a pink and orange heart emoji for a chance to be featured on our Instagram as comment of the day.
Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Real Talk.
Goodbye.